Hello and welcome to another episode of This is Australia. Now, what am I doing here? I'm just doing some weeding. Yeah, some friends actually asked me if I can help them out because they're so busy, and I'm just doing some weeding, but this is weeding with a difference because these weeds, actually, we can eat them. Now, have a look at this closely. There's something like about 13 different plants like this. We call them weeds, but they're eatable, and some of them are really good for you. There's two different ways you can eat them. Either you can have them in the salad, or you can boil them, and you can even drink the juice. Now the juice is very good. The juice of this one has a lot of iron. So this is another one here. This one here, again, that's an eatable one. You can see it. And that's another type. Look at that. This is really nice. Now look at this. We picked this one, but we don't eat this one. This is poison. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're basically cutting all this up into small pieces, and we're going to make a beautiful salad. But while I'm doing this, let's have a look at one of my favorite subjects. And this is a little bit about politics, but I think it's important to find out, first of all, what is democracy? Have a look.
The word democracy comes from the Greek words of demos, which means people, and kratos, which means power or rule. So democracy basically means the rule of the people. Democracy first started as a direct democracy in Greek cities, notably ancient Athens, where people came together to speak about their concerns and opinions in front of rulers of the city-state and directly voted on new rules and laws. Here is considered as the birthplace of democracy. For the very first time, decisions were made by the people instead of rulers.
I know for a fact that Switzerland has democracy because the people make decisions with referendums, and that's people power, that's democracy. As for Great Britain, we might have a little bit of democracy. Have a look at this one.
Put a group together. It was called the Europe of Freedom and Democracy Group. In the last Parliament, it'll be called the Europe of Freedom and Direct Democracy in this Parliament, reflecting a shared wish amongst us all that the citizens of Europe really ought to have more to say, and that any further moves towards the centralisation of powers should only be legitimised if they're passed in full, free and fair referendum.
So the question is America a democracy? Let's have a look at this.
Do you want to live in a democratic society, or do you want to live in the society we have? Which, remember, is not a democratic society and is not intended to be. If you take a course in political theory here, I'm sure they'll teach you that the United States is not a democracy. It's what's called in the technical literature a polyarchy. A polyarchy is a system in which power resides in the hands of those who Madison called the wealth of the nation, the responsible class of men, and the rest of the population is fragmented, distracted, allowed to participate. Every couple of years they're allowed to come and say, yes, thank you, why don't you continue for another 4 years.
Let's go back now to the roots of democracy. Let's go back into ancient Athens. Democracy started in Athens around about 630 BC. And if we go back in history, we can see the difference between the oligarchy and the democracy. For example, when the Persians with Xerxes attacked Greece, they voted and decided that they're going to defend the city-state and Greece. And they tried to just join all the Greeks together. Now that is democracy. When all the citizens got together and they decided that yes, we are going to defend Greece and Athens. Now, when the Athenians and Themistocles, a hero in the Battle of Marathon, the first battle with the Persians, when he went to Sparta to ask for help from Sparta, look what happened.
I am commanding a fleet of ships that will represent a united Greece. I need Sparta to join me. Give me your ships, Gorgo. I will make sure that Xerxes wishes he never crossed the Aegean.
You will receive no Spartan ships. We are not interested in a united Greece. That is your dream, Themistocles, not ours. All I am concerned with is the preservation of Sparta. My guards will see you out.
So this is the difference. You can see the oligarchy or the monarchy, perhaps from Sparta, saying, no, we're not interested. They didn't ask the people. I'm sure that the Spartans, if they were asked, they would have said, yes, let's go for it. I mean, they loved war. They lived for war. So I'm sure that they would have said yes, especially when they had to defend their own country. So that is the definition of democracy and oligarchy. Okay, so there you go. Our salad is almost ready. Now I'm just going to use balsamic vinegar. It's really, really nice. And of course, I'm going to use this olive oil. Now, with olive oils, you have to be careful. Make sure you try as much as you can to find the Australian-made olive oils. We make beautiful olive oils here in Australia. And the other thing that you have to watch is to find the extra virgin olive oil. Now, this salad is ready. We just put a little bit more salt, and that's ready to go. Now, this is the one I prepared earlier. Okay, so basically we boil the vegetables, but the most important thing from this, it's not the vegetables. Remember, this could be a little bit bitter, but remember, everything bitter, it's good for you. Everything that is bitter. So if it is a bit bitter, just try to eat it. It's going to be good for you. Now, it's not so much the vegetables that we cooked, but the juice out of it. I know it's a little bit, again, bitter, but every time you drink some of that, you know that it's really good for your health. It's good for your blood, it's good for your heart, it's good for everything. And of course, the most important thing is that you get a lot of iron out of this. Now, let's have a try. This is it. Looks like wine. Okay, now, it's not very bitter actually, but I'll tell you what, it's so good for you. So remember, if you can find these veggies in the shop or in your garden, next time you do some weeding, make sure you find some of these veggies. So make sure you pick up the right ones. Okay, the next one, of course, try a salad. This one here. Incredible. A little bit bitter, but I tell you what, every bite, imagine all these beautiful nutrients are going right through your body. Your blood, your heart, your liver, everything. It's good for everything. I don't know if it's good for everything, but for lots of things anyway. Okay, this is all we had for this episode. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.